Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Barely Bookish podcast. Today, we're talking about Interview with the Vampire Season 2, and I am once again joined by Candace.
Hello.
I'm so excited. I don't know how I didn't realize Season 2 came out until my sibling happened to mention that they watched it. And they're like, oh, yeah, what'd you think of Season 2? And I'm like, Season 2? And then I texted you.
Immediately foams at the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew there was a season 2 coming, but I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that it was out. And then when I found out it was out, I was like, I gotta text Rachel. And then like 2 hours later, you were like, hey, what's going on? And I was like,
The fates aligned.
yeah, I saw the trailer and I immediately got excited. I was like, oh, we're gonna have so much shit to talk about this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tasty.
Like, all I'm saying is give me more Lestat, give me more Louis. Like,
Mm,
I'm just, anytime they're on the screen, I'm just like foaming at the mouth, honestly.
yeah. Yeah, totally obsessed. I was
Hmm.
I was in a group the other day. There's an event coming up that I am DMing for called BIPOC Vamp Day, which is a celebration of Black vampire movies and media, as well as a push to get BIPOC people. Um, sorry, not just Black people. It's Black vampires for me. It's BIPOC
Hmm.
vampires. So vampires for all BIPOC people, and a push to get more BIPOC people into roles that are in like vampire movies and things like that. Um, and for me, I'm in the TTRPG space. So I was talking to a group of people that I'm going to be working with about like what my influences were for the game that I'm running. And I was like, "Have you guys seen Interview with the Vampire? Not the movie, but the show." And someone was
Hmm.
like, "I don't know. I'm a really big fan of the original, and I'm not sure how I feel about this new one." And oh my goodness, like the people descended upon this person swift and
As they
hard.
should. As they
They were
should.
like people immediately had opinions. Like, I have
Hmm.
not stopped thinking about this show since it came out 2.5 years ago. Do you have any
Hmm.
idea how much I've waited? How much I've pined? You don't understand.
Hmm.
Why don't you watch it and come back and say something to me? Like,
Literally.
people got really, really serious about it out of nowhere. It was really cute to see. I didn't even have to get spicy. Like, I was ready to. I was like, let me flex my typing hands.
Hmm.
And then people were just like, no, save your texts. We're going to talk about it. It was great. I cannot get enough of the show. Um, Waiting for it felt like an eternity. I love that Netflix has just added like the first season to their
Hmm.
catalog because I was so distraught having to like choose between getting to see it again, season 1 again,
Hmm.
and paying like $8 a month or just waiting until season 2 came out. And I
Hmm.
just waited until season 2 came out cuz I'm cheap.
Fair. Somehow, my dad has an AMC account. And I was like, you hero amongst men, you
Thank
know?
God.
I know. I'm just waiting for the day. I got kicked off my Netflix family account. They're
No,
like,
did they find you out?
yeah, they're like,
How
you're not part of
dare.
this household. And I was like, excuse me, what do I have to
Yes, I
do?
am.
I,
I've had
I
to
like,
grow up here, okay? This is my
yeah,
family.
I
Whether I
sent a
want them to be
text.
or not, give me this Netflix. That's how I
Literally, I
feel.
sent a text to my dad and I was like, am I not a part of your family anymore? Like, tell me now. And then after they gave me the password, like it sends a code to my dad's email and then I
Mhm.
get the code. After I got the code, I said thank you for renewing my subscription to the family for another 14 days. Like I really appreciate it. Cuz you only have 14 days and then they
What?
have to send you the code again. Yeah.
That's stupid.
It's insane, actually.
Yeah, I hate that. That's dumb.
Yeah. Also, speaking of black vampires, I don't know because if you're following the world of books obviously as close as I am.
I have
However,
seen that sexy new black vampire book with the
okay.
water marbling on the outside edge
Mhm.
of the pages.
Okay, I just had to make sure. I had to make sure you were also a part of this experience. I'm
I
not
need it.
normally so like I aesthetically love dark academia,
Mhm.
hence background, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not a fan of it in literature traditionally or
Mhm.
if it's just like I haven't had the best writer's experience, but the two dark academia books that everyone's like this is the height of dark academia, I have not enjoyed. So
Okay.
I'm like I'm willing though. I'm not going to lie to you. I saw the fan art and I was like, all right, I'm going to give it another go because damn, you know, like
Can't say no to that.
yeah. But it's like
No.
my personal thing is I won't review if I didn't enjoy something solely because I'm taking a risk in the genre, like
Mhm.
that I know I don't normally write. I don't review it because I'm like, I'm not gonna sway anyone else's opinion of a book
Mhm.
because I didn't like it because I took a risk. You know, it's like
Yeah.
whenever I read something a little too dark romance, I'm like, I'm not gonna leave a review. Okay, I tried something new, and I should have known better. You know,
This
that's
was
my
my
own
fault,
fault.
so
Correct.
I'm not gonna punish the book and the author because it was
No,
my
let's talk about Interview with the Vampire.
please.
We are on season 2, as stated, and we are also on episode 1. So, right off the bat, I have to say, I really like that they gave us a warning that there was a Claudia switch,
Same.
but I think this actress does just as good of a job.
I mean, honestly, like, they don't look the same, but the
Hmm.
performance feels seamless.
Yeah,
Like, she immediately picked up what the other actor put down. Like
yeah,
like an easy switch. I was so impressed.
yeah. Like, I kind of, like, it's been long enough that I kind of forget what she looked like enough. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
To have been like, I didn't notice. However, had I watched, like, if I recapped, I would have been like, oh, okay, like, switch, you know?
Mhm.
But it's like, because I was not, like, we didn't get, we got Claudia for a lot of last season, but not long enough for me to be, like, super attached. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
So, not
I mean,
mad.
like, I feel like if they had had 2 seasons, then that would have been a bigger shift, a bigger jump.
Yeah.
What I like about this feeling is that we get that last Claudia at the end of an arc. Like, it's obvious that there's an end of
Mm-hmm.
an arc in her heart and who she is and what she kind of believes in, right? Like, she's in
Mm-hmm.
this major kind of depressive episode. Like, she feels free now because Lestat is gone and she wants to start a new life. So then you get this new season and it's almost it's like she does that. Like, there's a show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend where they have a character. They couldn't get back Santino Fontana, the original person who played this role of Greg. So they
Mm-hmm.
get Skylar Aston, right, another Broadway trained actor, to play him for
Mm-hmm.
the final season. And the way that they introduce it is that when we see Santino Fontana as Greg, he's an alcoholic. He goes away to Emory to finally like get out of this West Covina life that he's been living. He's been living there his whole life. Like, he's obviously
Mm-hmm.
gonna like rot there if he doesn't do something to change himself and to be better. So he goes away to school, and when he graduates and he comes home, he's literally a new person, right? He's a
Yeah.
completely different person. So, like, when the main protagonist, Rebecca, sees him, she's like, "Oh my god, that's not Greg. Who is that?" And you as the
Mm-hmm.
audience are like, "Who the fuck is that?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's Greg. That's always how he's looked. That's always been Greg. You just didn't
Mm-hmm.
see him like that, right?" So there's this kind of like bait and switch of like symbolism that like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're seeing a completely different person, but also they're a completely different person. And I feel like this
Mm-hmm.
actor really embodies that. Um
Mm-hmm.
there is a maturity that she brings to her role that the first actor I feel like couldn't have because she was still kind of a new vampire. She was still kind of a fledgling, like she was,
Mm-hmm.
kind of growing up and making those moves and those choices. And you see the little subtleties she gives her performance in the first season where she like is showing, she's not the same Claudia from the first episode you see her in to the end, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you see her grow up. But I feel like this actor really pushes that concept forward and you see
Mm-hmm.
her kind of meeting people in the middle for who they are, including Louis, right? Like making very decisive moves rather than erratic ones like she did the
Mm-hmm.
previous season.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if there was anybody that had to change, Claudia is a good change. I feel like if they changed Louis or Lestat, I would have suffered.
Yeah, I agree. They're perfect.
They
They're
are.
perfect individually and they're perfect together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Their chemistry, I'm like, oh my god.
Like every scene they're in is electric. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we see them walking into this I don't want to skip ahead. Anyway,
Okay.
well,
We'll go in
well,
order. We'll
I'll
go.
say it when we get there.
Okay.
Something that I really liked was the opening titles.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that they go like episode 8, right? So it's still like chapters. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they did that in the previous season too. But like some shows forget like the things that they've done. Like if you watch season 1 of Parks and Recreation and then season 6, they completely drop the whole like crew recording them, right? Like the whole like
Mm-hmm.
documentary style thing. They totally throw that out the window and it just becomes like a regular show. But I feel like this is a show that's like, we're going to stick to our guns. Like at the end of this, we want to make a product. Like it's clear they want to make a product that you can watch all the way through to get the whole story. And
Mhm.
there's no hiccups, which I think is why it was so important for them to acknowledge that Claudia was different as well.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I really, really liked that a lot.
Yeah. Also, speaking of mockumentary, we're not getting another season of What We Do in the Shadows, are we?
I think there is another season.
This is the best news you could give me.
Yeah, I think there is another season. I think this upcoming season is the last season.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
I need more of it. I want to binge it again.
It's so good.
So good.
I can't get enough. You did watch
No.
the movie as well.
I yeah, I did. I did
All
finally
right,
watch it. I was like, I
cool.
knew I watched part of it. I think I did watch the whole thing
Mhm.
last October.
So good.
So good.
It's funny, like that's like a really good juxtaposition for my next point. Like what I love the most about What We Do in the Shadows is that like
Mhm.
they do such a great job of having like old school vampires in a new school world,
Mhm.
right? Like that's like the crux and the joke is that all like these people can't change over time. They've changed, but like they haven't really changed because they kind of can't.
Mhm.
Um, and having them kind of semi frozen in time while the world moves around them and see how they adapt to this new world that we're in. I feel the exact opposite way about Interview with the Vampire. Like I love that they moved the date up. Like when they first announced the show,
Mhm.
and they said they were moving like the timeline, I was like, I don't like that. I don't want a show about
Yeah.
Louis being a fucking slave. Like, because first they made Louis black, and I was like, fine, I guess.
Mhm.
How are you going to do it? He owns a plantation. Fuck you, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't do that to me. So then they were like, no, he doesn't own a plantation. This is this new Louis who owns a nightclub. And I'm like, okay, all right, you're with me. I'm with you.
All
I'm
right.
with you. I got it. And then they were like, yeah, but like in New Orleans, in the French Quarter, and like nobody likes him because he's black. And I'm like, time out. Can we not? I would rather,
Hesitation.
please don't make me do this. And then they're like, but guess what? He's a vampire, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And you're going to be so excited that he does whatever the fuck he wants. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, but guys, like, what are you doing with the rest of the time? Like, what are you doing with the rest of the time? So to like find them in the middle of like war torn countries in this
Mhm.
season was such a
Mhm.
fucking genius idea. Like, war is the best cover up for two vampires that need to make their way across the countryside and stay alive the entire time. Like, you couldn't ask for better cover, right? Like, you literally couldn't have better cover other than the
Yeah.
fact that they're black. And I'm like, how are you guys going to deal with this black thing? I will say, my one complaint,
Oh no.
there were plenty of black people in Europe
Mhm.
at that time.
Mm.
So when they like see the Ukrainian guy, like the soldier, and he's like, huh, black Russians, black Ukrainians, yeah, okay, right? And he just kind of like rolls his eyes at them. Like I looked
Mhm.
it up because I was like, there were definitely black Russians. Like there's like famous Russian people that like were black and Russian that like were writers and artists and scientists, right? Like that's just history.
Mhm.
So I'm like, what do you mean by that? So I looked it up, and apparently that's not real. Like there were actually
Uh-huh.
like they wouldn't have necessarily been like completely shocked to see a black person. Um I guess it's the countryside, which is why I was able to let it slide. I made that excuse for the show because I was having such a nice time. But like watching Louis and Lestat like walk along the graves and like the
Oh,
bodies on like the battlefield, right? And
yeah.
he's just like teasing him incessantly,
Oh,
right? Like
so good.
mimicking all of his movements so you know it's Louis because he's like that's the coolest thing. How the actors came together to kind of decide this is like
Mhm.
Louis is walking and talking, right? And he's moving his hands and he has this certain body language and Lestat is mimicking all of it because Louis is talking to himself, right? Like that's not
Mhm.
really Lestat. So he moves like Louis in an effort to be like, you know this isn't real. Like this is how you
Mhm.
know that this isn't real. Like it's so compelling.
So
Oh,
good.
oh God.
So good.
I can't get enough of them.
I know. I know.
I'm like, Lestat is the most toxic motherfucker, but when is he coming back?
I know. Literally. Literally. I'm like, when are my babies gonna be together again? You
They're
know,
in
like,
love. Listen,
ugh.
he can save Lestat. He can make him better. We all know he can make him better.
He can
He was
change
almost
him.
better before. He almost changed him, okay?
Mhm.
He almost changed him. When Lestat threw him out of the sky, he felt really bad after. He's not used to
Mhm.
feeling remorse like that. It's because Louis is special, okay? Like, dude, leave him. I would say leave him to anyone but Louis. No, leave
Literally.
him. He's beautiful. Don't do it.
We forgive toxic men in novels.
You're so beautiful together. You guys are OTP. You know you are. Don't leave. He'll be good.
Please just be nice to each other.
Just
Thank you.
for
You guys
5
are so
minutes.
beautiful.
Oh my god. Um,
The next thing I need to talk about is Armand constantly interrupting Daniel and Louis'
dude.
interview.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So sassy.
So
So
sassy.
sassy. And Daniel's like, I don't appreciate being sass. And Armand's like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah. So funny. My favorite thing is the fact that like Armand is giving like clingy, overbearing boyfriend for sure.
absolutely. I
Like,
l- I literally wrote down this version of Armand sure is cheeky for a guy with as huge a secret as we know he's carrying around.
mm-hmm,
Because I don't think
mm,
this Louis knows what we know about
mm,
Armand.
mm-hmm.
I do not think he knows that.
I do not think so either.
No. And I think we're gonna find out by the end of this season. And I think
Armand,
that's gonna be a bad time for everyone. That's what I think.
Armand fully gaslight gatekeep girl boss in this
Literally.
like season so far.
Literally. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. He needs a little shirt bedazzled in rhinestones. Gaslight
Mm-hmm.
gatekeep girl boss. Oh my god.
Like the
Ugh.
way he retracts Louis' memories, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
It's giving like leading the witness or like a
Mm-hmm.
parent guiding their child to say like what they want them to say, like Baron
Mm-hmm.
Munchausen's by proxy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
coaching your child to like say things. And Louis like, it's okay, he loves me. And we're all like, not like
Louis,
this.
no.
Not like Lestat, baby.
Yeah,
Lestat will hurt
truly.
your body, but he won't hurt your soul. Okay? All right? I also really love Louis talking to Claudia about how they can't get warm and how they're all fucked up because of the despair and the blood of these like miserable people in the war. Like, it's funny, like, this is something that I think it's like shower thoughts, right? Where you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
what happens when there's a war and there's vampires?
Yeah.
That's weird, right? And it kind of it's like a
Mm-hmm.
fleeting thought. But then I'm watching the show and I'm like, yeah, but like how must that blood taste? Like if you love drinking like the warm blood of like if we go back to like the movie version, right? Where they're in that scene with like the two sex workers where they're like having a party, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they're like beautiful women and they're like all warm and rosy cheeked and the lights are really beautiful and soft and it's gorgeous. I'm like flash forward to like biting someone who is like half dead already anyway, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
there's like blood and dirt in your mouth because they're filthy, right? Like
Yeah.
they haven't eaten in days. Like what is that like compared to the smorgasbord that was before, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's got to be brutal. Like I can't imagine like having to deal with like that other component of your meal, of the emotions and well-being of the person that you are feeding off of.
Do you imagine like that's how vampires get depression?
Oh my god. Only drinking sad blood?
Yeah.
I bet they write the best music though.
Oh. Oh yeah. It's like very peak MCR, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I did write down how Louis talking to Claudia about how they can't get warm with like how the blood is like miserable and it's making them so sad and miserable, whatever. Like
mm-hmm.
her face is so good. She's like looking at this man with this look of incredulity that can only to me be described as like when a cis man goes to a person that has a uterus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, ugh, I've got such a headache. I can't get any work done. My head hurts so badly. I must leave. Please, do you have any Advil? I want to take 4 of them. I'm so miserable and I'm so much pain. Right? And it's like telling you all about how horrible their life is and like
Mm-hmm.
actual lumps of things are coming out of your cervix, like twisting
Mm-hmm.
your guts into like a fiery stew, right? And you're just like, yeah, your life is really difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, the entire center of me is literally clenched like a fist right now. But you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's your headache. Your little headache totally sucks, buddy. You're right. Yep. You poor thing. Your fucking headache. Like she's looking at
Literally.
him like, "What do you think my life is like? I am an eternal vampire who is stuck in the body of like a teenager. I have
Mm-hmm.
needs and thoughts and wants and desires that I can act on. The one time I tried to act on them consensually, it was not consensual. like a term
Yeah.
non-consensual, and now I'm in this godforsaken country with you after killing somebody that you're still fucking in love with. Like, do not talk to me about your pain, sir. Like, the look on her
Mhm.
face, I'm just like, this poor girl. You
Yeah.
need to move out of your dad's house, girl. You need to get your own apartment, get a little flat in France, all to yourself. Okay? Just fuck right off. You do not need to
Mhm.
be around him anymore. Like, he's like
Yeah.
crying to her, and she's like, I swear to fucking God, if you do not shut the fuck up. He's like, I know she's annoyed with me.
Dude, it's so funny. She is so pissed, like, with her
Just,
dad at all the time. Anytime he says something, she's like, "Why don't you just shut the fuck up?
just
Like, just
shut the
shut the
fuck
fuck up."
up. And then she's like, then she like looks at him, and he's all like he's talking to Lestat, and of course we're all dazzled, right? We're like, ooh, Lestat. Ooh. And then the
Mhm.
camera pans to Claudia, and she's just like, and you bring him here on our trip? You bring him here? He's like, brought who? What do you mean? She's like, you know who I mean. You brought him on our trip. He's dead. Get over it. We're here. We're doing new shit. Get the fuck, wake up. And he's like, what? I'm sorry. Lestat was talking to me in my ear and I couldn't hear you. What were you saying? And she's like, I fucking, God damn it. No patience at all for him, man.
Like, have you ever hung out with someone that could not get over their ex?
Yes. Yes.
This whole, like, them traveling through war-torn countries is so funny.
It's awesome.
Like,
Like,
it's not funny, but it is also like, Claudia's reaction to literally everything is just disgust right now, and it's so teenage, you
like
know?
she's so over it and it's perfect. Um,
It's
I
giving
honestly can't get
Thanksgiving
enough.
family dinner.
Yes, it is. Another thing that's fucking me up is how Lestat keeps appearing to Louis, like, consistently, and, like,
Mhm.
Louis doesn't seem to be able to control it.
Mhm.
Number one gayest moment from this entire episode
Yeah.
is Lestat whispering in Louis's ear that he is too miserable for him to kill right now. He's waiting and biding his time until he's happy to do it.
Kinda hot.
Like, whispers to him, like
Mhm.
luxuriously, that he doesn't want to kill him until he's happy. And I'm like, this is the most beautiful and romantic and sweet and fucked up and gayest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is
Mhm.
so fucked. I don't want to kill you until you're almost fucking perfectly happy, just
So
to watch
good.
it all fall away. Anyway,
So good.
I'll see you later. Such a shithead, man. Oh
Ugh.
God. Even in death, in quotation marks.
Mhm.
Just a
Ish.
shithead.
So good. I also think the fact that they randomly found someone in Romania that speaks English was kind of funny to me.
I think so too. Especially at that time period, because I think that's supposed to be World War One, not World War Two, right?
I thought it was World War II.
Yeah, it has to be World War Two
Because
because
it's
season one is like 1911, right?
yeah,
1910. Okay.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I love the time shift. It reminds me a lot of how like plays, like people who do
When was
plays,
World
like
War
classic
II?
plays. Hmm?
When was World War II?
1940 to 45.
Because Claudia is supposed to be pretty old now.
I think they had to shorten the time period here because they didn't have
Okay.
as much lead time. Because before Claudia gets made in like the late 1700s,
Yeah.
but now she gets made in like 1912 or something like that. So she's
Okay.
40 essentially, rather than
Okay.
being like 60 or 70, which is how old I think
Okay.
she is in the book.
All right. That's what's fucking me up. All right. I
Yeah.
probably should have done a rewatch before we jumped into these episodes, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Um
whatever.
I love how like how they are kind of taking the the method from like the theater, especially
Mm-hmm.
because we're talking about the theater, but like the way that they're doing this and telling the story feels very theatrical, like how there are different production companies and like playhouses that'll do like cabaret, but instead of setting it during like World War II, they'll be like, well, I'm going to set it during the Spanish American War, or they're like, I'm going to do Twelfth Night, but instead of setting it in like 17th century or 18th century Verona, I'm going to set it or wherever, I'm going to set it in I think it's Verona. I'm gonna set it in 1980s Philadelphia, right? Like
Mhm.
we're gonna do Romeo and Juliet, but it's like a space opera, right? Like how people play with the time period to kind of squeeze something new out of an old work. I feel like
Mhm.
that's what they're doing here, and it really, really works. Like, it never occurred to me to do
Yeah.
that with just like a movie or a television show to like just update the time period. Most people, when they make remakes, they try to stick to the as close to the original as possible so they don't like mess it up at all. Um,
Mhm.
or they'll do like an update. So they'll do like a present day version of an old movie, right? But this is like taking the circumstances of the original text and
Mhm.
completely shifting them into this new time period the way that you would do with a play. And I find that really, really awesome. I like that they don't kind of allow themselves to be limited and stretch the show's imagination along with like the cast and the crew so that the audience is like invited to do the same. And
Yeah.
that's really cool.
I just think, like, I will say my favorite retelling of all time will always be Romeo and Juliet. Peak. But I think this one's just so well done. Like, it's with so much care. Like, you can tell they actually really liked the book,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, oh, going back to episode one,
Mm.
Louis introducing himself with his actual name and Claudia trying to like remain hidden. So funny. So
Not
funny.
on the same page once
No.
again.
Because like Claudia's like, we have to be like secretive. And Louis is like, I could kill every single person in this room. It's
She's
like,
like,
did you
could you
know?
though?
Yeah, literally though.
Like, could you though, buddy? Like, I feel like part of her story that's not being said, and I think
Hmm.
this happens in the book too, and it's nice that they kind of keep this tone, is that like despite hating the fuck out of Lestat, she is
Hmm.
absolutely her father's daughter.
Oh
Like she is
yeah.
absolutely her father's daughter, and like Louis can't see that and embrace her. He instead
Hmm.
is just too busy pining over Lestat. So then she's like, "You're ignoring me, and you could be having a really great time with Lestat Jr., who has less of a shitty attitude." But no, no. Instead, you're crying over some man that was trash to begin with. You know?
Man, honestly, if Claudia could live and just like have her own little vampire life, like I
Mm-hmm.
would love that.
Same.
I would love that. Like I would watch a show about Claudia. Just like
Absolutely.
because the thing is too is
Absolutely.
like modern day right now, there's a lot you can do with makeup to make yourself appear older.
Mm-hmm.
Like she could even pass for like early 20s.
Definitely.
Very
Mm-hmm.
easily, especially like if you're a teenage vampire. It's not like back then where it was like you're stuck.
Right.
If you were turned at 14, like if you were turned at 14, you could probably age yourself up to enough to appear 18.
Yeah.
But like if you were turned at like 16,
Mm-hmm.
you can just be like, oh yeah, I got a baby face, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
people are not gonna be like,
Yeah.
like
Eventually
no
they'll get it.
one's yeah. No one's gonna question yourself. Like no one's gonna question you if you age up to like early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
If you do enough of the like prep work, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Absolutely. Which, I mean, you have the time. Like, you
Yeah.
have the memories of a person of that age, right? So it's not as
Hmm.
though, like, you're like a kid trying to sneak in with like a fake ID. Like, you
Hmm.
have all the knowledge that you would need to pretend that you are this age. The only difference is that, like, you're actually older than that, but
Yeah.
in a younger body, right? Like, so if someone was like, who was present in 1959? Like, you'd have that answer because you were there.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I feel like that must be such a fucking bummer as someone who was carded long into my early 30s. It was
Hmm.
such a fucking pain. Like, I can't imagine that happening to you for like a millennia. Like,
Oh my god.
fuck that.
It's so funny because like I've always looked older. Like
Hmm.
everybody's always assumed I've been in my early 20s, which like let's keep that energy when I'm 40, okay? Um, but like I've never had an issue with anybody thinking I was young.
Hmm.
And so I just like can't imagine that struggle because everybody's always assumed I've been at least like 22 since I was like 14.
Hmm.
So it's like if I got turned at 14, I would look pretty much exactly like this.
Right.
Like I remember sex ed class that's like first of all, I had like a week long maybe sex ed course, all right? in which the teacher teaching it told me that if I had a baby, it would survive because I had wide birthing hips,
Oh
and
God.
that's basically the energy. If you needed to know what
Please
that class was
keep this
like.
to yourself, ma'am. I'm I'm an actual child. I don't want
Yeah,
to
I
talk
was like,
about this,
oh,
and
I was in middle
especially not
school.
with you.
Yeah, I was in middle school.
Oh my God.
Even worse.
Ugh. I already feel
Like
weird about my body. Thank you.
yeah, cool, cool, cool. And then like my friend who was shorter, they said to her, they're like, oh yeah, and if you had a baby, it would probably be deformed. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
yeah, it was really fucked. Um,
What kind of school is this?
but yeah, so it's like I just can't even imagine anybody like I had grown adults thinking I was like offering to buy me a drink and stuff
Oh
at
no.
like 14,
I
15.
hate that. Especially
Yeah,
because that comes with like men talking to you. And
literally
that's gross.
my greatest fear, honestly.
Mm.
All I'm saying is I feel like I would thrive if I got turned to a vampire anywhere between the ages of 16 up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
agree. I feel like I would have thrived if I had been turned at like 30.
yeah.
30 would be my peak time.
Right now, I feel like I'm peaking. Um, However, if I could lose like a little bit more weight first, like if I'm stuck here, I'll make it work. However, if I could like if you gave me like a year warning and I could like get really buff and like and I
And
can
then
just
get
keep
me.
that, then we're good. Then, go ahead, freeze it, we're cool. But like let me know, you know what I mean? Like put
Yeah.
the offer out there. Give me a little time. I'm going to do a lot of squats and I'll get back to you, okay? Like let
I'm
me
going to squat
peak.
until my legs fall off, and then you're going to turn
Yep.
me, and they'll just be healed.
Yeah, no problem. Whatever I have to do to just freeze me at my peak sounds good.
Do you watch The Gilded Age?
No.
Okay.
Is it good?
Uh,
Okay.
you like Downton Abbey, right?
I have not watched Downton Abbey. We
Oh,
talk about this all the time. I need to. I just haven't.
for some reason I thought you had started watching it.
My
Um,
mom watched it, so I saw like an episode or two.
okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is not a bad show.
Mhm.
It is not as good as Downton Abbey, but it is by the same person.
Okay.
Downton Abbey takes place in England in like the early 20th century, like
Mhm.
right around the first episode, the Titanic has sunk,
Okay.
and the Gilded Age is like 1850s, 1870s, or something like that in New York. Um, Very different shows tonally, but the vibe is kind of similar as far as like
Mhm.
historical romantic fiction drama that's like rooted in reality. So there's like real people in it that existed in history, like actors playing real
Mhm.
people. But the main characters are all just characters. But the British guy that we see that kind of plays the in the book, he's the man who has the wife that he won't leave her side because she's been killed by a vampire, and then she rises and they kill her. So the way that they do that in this episode is with this British expat guy who's like obviously kind of caught between villages, and he's like in love with this English speaking Romanian woman
Mhm.
who is super tough and does not seem to be his girlfriend. I should I should I should state that because she has eyes for fucking Louis in a big way, and the British guy, I don't know what kind of vibe the British guy was throwing down. It very much felt like we could both share her vibes,
Yeah.
or I'm not picky vibes, or I mean, I can acknowledge that you're a handsome man. We can see each other together with the lady. Like, I don't know which of those vibes he was putting down, but I was picking up all of them. Um, and he is a notable character in the Gilded Age. So if you are a Gilded Age fan, shout out to people who like historical fiction and are watching Interview with the Vampire because you like historical fiction.
Mhm.
Oscar Van Ryn, Christine Baranski's on-screen son, plays the British guy, and damn, he looks so different. I wrote it down just in case you had watched Gilded Age because I almost didn't know it was him. Um,
Fair.
but it was cool to see like a familiar face because I feel
Mhm.
like so far, like I've seen Eric Bogosian and stuff, and obviously I've seen um, Louis in Game of Thrones, among
Yeah, I
other
forgot.
things. Um, but like it was interesting to see like a familiar face because I feel like they do a really good job of inviting people who aren't like super popular actors, which I
Mhm.
feel like was a really good idea because it helps keep the posterity of the story that they're telling instead of taking me out of
Mhm.
it, you know, and being like, oh, look at this famous person that's
Like
doing
if
this for
Brad
some
Pitt
reason.
showed up, I'd be like,
Right. See, if Brad Pitt showed up, he'd need to be like a fucking sheep farmer with like a
yeah.
shaggy haircut and a mustache, right? And a hat.
Mhm.
He'd have to be hiding. They'd have to like put him in something. Same with Tom
Mhm.
Cruise. Like they'd have to Tropic Thunder him, you know, where like
Yep.
he's in Tropic Thunder, he's like that beardy, beefy guy. They'd have to do that for me to
Mhm.
enjoy either of those men showing up in this show, personally.
Fair.
Yeah. And I want to just kind of give another tangent that we do not have to explore, but someone sent me the season 3 trailer for this show that was just released. So we are already getting a season 3.
Mhm.
I have not watched the trailer because we have not finished watching these episodes, and I don't want to spoil it for myself or for you.
I
But
love that this will just be a reoccurring yearly thing for us, is that we just go through all the episodes.
I really need it. Like I need them to go through every single vampire book that Anne Rice ever wrote and just do all of
Mhm.
them. I need them to do everything because then we can keep meeting. As a matter of
Nice.
fact, if you ever want to read The Mayfair Witches, which is not as good as Interview with the Vampire, but if that's ever something you want to do, I will read it with you, even though it is entirely too long. Like
I feel like I
entirely
just
too
want to
long.
watch the TV show for that one. I'm
Just
not gonna
watch the
lie to
show. The
you.
show is really good. You're gonna like it. It's really fun.
Mhm.
They have interesting things to say about femininity and gender that I really enjoy. That it's inclusive. They've got all kinds of
Hell yeah.
witches.
Hell
Big
yeah.
fan of that. Yeah, I highly recommend the show. The book, I mean, if you have 20 pages of 10-point font, 9-point font in a paperback novel
Yep.
to read about a house,
I don't I'm gonna be
then
honest,
feel free.
it's same reason I haven't read The Hobbit. I don't know if I have the energy for that,
See,
you
that
know?
one is at least short. That book is shorter
Yeah.
than you think. Like, that one's at least short. This one's like a tome.
Oh
Like, it's
god.
longer than Interview with the Vampire, and that already felt pretty long to read.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't
I
feel
don't know if
long
I
when
can
I
do
was
it.
young because I was reading things I wasn't supposed to, so every word was like, ooh. Um,
Mhm.
but as an adult, I'm like, how long is this book? Whew.
I don't know.
Oh my
It
god.
might be like one of those things of like when I retire, you know, and I'm gonna pick
Yes.
it up. I'll
Yes.
call you and I'll be
Yes.
like, all right, it's happening.
That's what we'll do. We'll talk about it. I'll be like, you see what I'm saying? You weren't missing anything. Not a single
When
soul in 30 years has asked you if you read this, have they? Nope. Of
when we're
course
on
they haven't.
episode 5,000 of this podcast, and I'll be like, Mayfair witches.
So Anne Rice has been dead for about 35 years. That's fine. That's the point of this podcast. Let's get into it.
We start counting. We have like a countdown clock of like when people die, so that, like they can be on the podcast.
Yeah, you got to be dead first.
Yeah, we're just JKR is a ticking time bomb. I'm like, all right, lady.
Oh, well when she dies, I'm going to start enjoying Harry Potter stuff again.
Yeah,
Yeah, not a minute sooner though.
not a minute sooner.
No. No. And I have a Harry Potter tattoo technically. I just tell people it's just a basic wand and
Mm.
not a wand that is a replica of the wand that I got at Ollivander's the first time that I ever went to Universal Studios, Florida. It made me so
Fair.
happy. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life. And then, like, 2 months later, she was like on the internet being horrible. Like,
And you're like, fuck.
I was like, God damn it. So we see the ghoul in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
That was
Like,
crazy.
I genuinely wasn't sure if they were gonna go there. I was like, they're not gonna do all that. They can't.
No.
They gotta skip over it, man. That's too much. They can't go that granular. And then Claudia was in the woods, and I was like, I love how she like pushed that child in the face. That little
So
boy
funny.
like tried to
So
fucking
funny.
challenge her, and she was like, "Now," and like face plants him.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
kids are just like, "Well, we're not gonna help you when you go get eaten," and she's like, "I'm just gonna go eat something. Fuck you."
Yeah.
Um, and she gets into the forest, and that creature, like the special effects were awesome. There were
Mm-hmm.
practical effects, so it's like makeup and stuff and rigging, rather than CGI, which I love.
Yeah.
Very kind of old school vibes, very realistic. The sound effects were awesome. Like it was such a cool scene.
Yeah.
Like I remember reading it in the book, and it felt like such a muddy scene to me, when she's like in the ruins and they
Mm-hmm.
come across that like the ghoul. Like I feel like when you see that vampire, like, and he's mindless and stuff, like, there's definitely, like, commentary to be said, like, we very much, like, took a deep dive into the ghoul and, like, the meaning and all that stuff, when we
Mhm.
talked about the book for the first time, but, like, they breathe new life into this concept of, like, misery, right? Which I think is important because you have these mainstays, like in D&D, you've got Barovia, right, where Castle Strahd is. Strahd, the Strahd von Zarovich is like one of the best known D&D villains of all time, right, next to Vecna. Um, and the story of Strahd is bleak, right? Barovia is bleak and it's sad and it's lonely and like there's moors and stuff and there's lots of fog and like
Mhm.
mist, right? Like it's heavy there. And Bram Stoker's Dracula is similar, right? When Jonathan Harker is riding in the carriage and he's talking about like what he sees out his window and when he gets to the castle and what he sees out the window, like it's very dark and bleak. And I feel like there's a lack of that in Rice's work because she's trying to be so glittery and fancy and like her prose is so like florid and you know what I mean? She kind of goes in a more glamorous direction with vampires.
Mhm.
But I like that we have this like ultimately glitzy version because Louis is pretty glitzy. Like him and Claudia and Lestat live a glitzy life in season one. It's all sparkly and shiny and beautiful, right? And you plunge these like well-to-do, above it all kind of individuals in this like swamp of sadness, so to speak,
Yep.
right? It's like miserable and bleak and terrible and like they don't belong there, but also they do because they're running from this big secret that they have, right? Um,
Mhm.
and I just really like the symbolism of that, of them kind of meeting this ghoul, this monster, and the monster's sire, which was crazy that they give the
Mhm.
monster a fucking sire that they meet. Um, that was so wild to me, just a wild choice that I felt like was so in keeping with the original, but bypassing the original to, like, ascend to, like, a higher level. Like, I felt like they did so much more with it here than in the book.
Yeah. I know, it's so good. I
Mm.
did forget to mention though, before that scene happens, I have to bring up the fact that like Louis correcting his memory in this like all this season, he's
Yes.
like, wait, I remember that wrong. I remember that
Mhm.
wrong. And then like Armand's like trying to shut him down, but it's like even the most minor details. He's like, no, she wouldn't have said that when Claudia was there.
Mhm.
Like that didn't happen.
Yep. The thing that
So
I love
interesting.
too is that they're kind of planting those seeds of doubt because we
Mm-hmm.
know because of season 1 that Armand was there during the first interview.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Armand was in Louis' life during the first interview. So like
Mm-hmm.
all the things that Louis said, part of the reason they were so suspect is because of Armand's presence, right? Because he didn't
Mm-hmm.
have the information he has now. So now he's like talking to Daniel and Daniel's pointing out the inconsistencies and Armand is being a cheeky bitch. Like just a rude bitch the
Mm-hmm.
entire time. And like it's so bizarre to watch Daniel and Armand like fight over Louis and like for a minute in the
Mm-hmm.
first episode, Louis gets snippy himself. He gets like real fucking he gets mad rude in this episode for a minute.
Yeah.
It snipes at Daniel and he's like, "What the fuck? Like what I thought we were
Daniel's
chill, man.
like,
I thought we were homies." Louis is like, "I don't know. What about your fucking wife?" And you're like, "Hey,
yeah.
buddy. Off
Yeah,
limits.
you're like, chill the fuck
Hey,
out. Like, what do you what's
you
why?
invited
What?
him here."
Yeah. Like, just imagine you'd be like, yeah, I actually do want to do a second interview. Also, like, let's talk about your failing marriage. Let's talk about your divorce.
Seriously.
You're like, what the fuck?
Oh
Like,
my god, man. Why?
dead at Louis immediately getting found out by the other vampire.
Yep.
Not the British dude being like,
There's some inconsistencies in your stories.
yeah. And he's like, this photo is really old. So she would either be dead or your grandmother. I'm like, oh my god. Like, also the fact that he's showing a photo of his sister, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fucking weird, Louis. Like,
Yeah.
we can all acknowledge that's weird.
Yeah.
Mom vampire.
So
Back
sad,
back to
dude.
where we were. So sad. Also,
So
she just keeps
sad.
making vampire kids. I'm like,
Yeah, because she's like she doesn't want to be alone. Like she doesn't want to be lonely. She's like, this it has to be more than this. And she's like
yeah.
talking about like Like, it sucks, like, her son gets wounded, right? Like, her weird ghoul vampire son gets wounded,
Mhm.
and she just, like, tears his head off, right? She just kills him. And, like, I'm
Yeah.
like, does she not realize that if he feeds, like, he can heal? But then it's like,
Yeah.
can he heal at this point? Because he's only, like, half alive to begin with? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe he can't heal, right? Maybe she does have to kill
Yeah.
them. She, like, kills all her babies, because there's, like, when they go back to her lair, there's, like, another guy, and that she rips the throat out of.
Mhm.
And like they're making progress, and like Claudia's connecting with this person, and it's like the first time she connects with another person. And like
Mhm.
this is what I think about like how they kept the sentiment alive from the book, right? They give us the ghoul from the book, but that moment where Claudia finally thinks that she's connected with the ghoul,
Mhm.
that instead here happens with the mom, like the
Yeah.
sire. And like the lady like really plays her. She plays her like
Mhm.
a fiddle, man. She's like, yeah, and it would be so great. Like she's like buying into everything Claudia says, and then just fucking kills herself.
Yeah.
Like
Chucks herself into the fire.
like she tells them that she's gonna come with them, right? As she's like stoking the fire, she's like, "Yeah, I'm totally gonna come with you. That sounds great. That sounds amazing." Claudia's like, "Yeah, like you don't have to live like this. Like it's the blood.
Mhm.
Like it's miserable here. You've got to come. You got to like leave this place." And Lady's like, "Sure, yeah, I'm totally like normal enough to leave and go into town and not live in the forest like a weird tree witch. Totally. Yep. Mm-hmm."
My
And then it's
dream.
like, I think something bad's about to happen. Like I looked at the TV and I was like, something terrible's gonna happen. This doesn't
Mhm.
feel good. Like there seems to be, I don't know, like a whiff of some kind of turmoil. Ah! And then she was
Yeah.
just in the fire. Um just full on burning to death. And like for Claudia to have to like witness that and watch
Mhm.
that happen, right? Like that's two deaths in the space of what, 3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
Like,
All I'm imagining is like imagine you're living your little tree witch life. You're in
mm-hmm.
the forest.
Mm-hmm.
You're like making your vampire kids. Things are fine. Like they kind of suck, but they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And some rich, snotty vampire child shows up and she's like, actually, life's great if you just like pick up your entire everything you know and just move into the suburbs. Like my white picket fence is just over
We
there.
have a city
Um,
nearby, endless
yeah.
supply of tasty treats.
Have
Just
you
come on
seen
by.
Twitter? Like that's the energy we're getting,
You're gonna fit in so well. And this lady's like a mountain man. Like,
Yeah.
are you sure? Like, I'm giving Helena Bonham Carter's feral little sister. Are you sure
Mhm.
that I will be
Mhm.
accepted in common society? Oh yeah.
And Claudia was like, "Oh, you just need a bath, maybe brush your
I
hair."
just gotta brush
And
your hair real quick. I have a
yeah.
bow to put in it. Look how good you look. She's like, kill me. Someone just kill
Yeah.
me. No, I'll do it myself.
Like,
Um,
I don't know, I think I would also do the same thing. Like, to be honest, if someone was like, "Hey, we're gonna pick you up and you're gonna move to New York City," I'm like, "I'm done.
yeah,
I'm I'm out." Like, that sounds like
literally.
hell on earth to me, actually. Like, I would rather die.
Yeah, totally agree. Couldn't be me.
Could be me.
Um, I feel like Claudia learns such a valuable lesson in that moment that like not everybody sees life the way that she sees life,
Yeah.
which is important because it helps her understand Louis a little bit better, but like it also helps her understand herself and her needs a little bit better and like what she wants.
Mhm.
And then like I love the transition. Like you get like a flash of like Louis and fucking Armand chit chatting and everything, and they have this like little chat in bed and everything right before bed.
Ugh.
And then
Yeah.
the next morning they walk into the interview holding hands, like they're like when like you see a couple that's like freshly fucked, like
Yeah.
the night before they like got it on, whether they had like a really heated
Mhm.
argument and it was like a makeup session, or
Yeah.
something just like it was a full moon and like people just
Mhm.
went fucking ham on each other.
Mhm.
That's how they walk into this room, like hair
Oh,
messed
yeah.
up, all like a little spring in their step, all jaunty.
Tucking
Hey
their shirt still
Danielle.
in their pants.
Gross. Gross. You can see it through your TV. It's just
Oh,
oozing
yeah.
out. You could tell. You're like, ugh, I hate it. You don't deserve to be
You're
happy.
like
Armand, I know your secret.
you're like, "Armand, back the fuck up. Like,
Yo.
what the fuck?"
I have a friend that I recommended this show to that has never
Mhm.
read the book and has only seen the movie once, right? So
Mm.
she's like messaging me and she's like, I feel like they're giving a really big reveal to Armand being a vampire. Like, what is that about? Like, why does it matter that he's a vampire? Who cares? I'm
Mhm.
like, because all this time we have not realized that he's been in Louis's life at all. And the
Mhm.
whole first season, he pretends that he's someone else to disguise the fact that Louis has a third party. right? To
Yeah.
disguise that there is somebody actively messing with this person's like understanding of the world around them to keep their
Mhm.
secret, right? I was like, so I understand you don't understand the reveal right now. If you read the book, you'd already know something very serious about that character. And that
Mhm.
is going to give you the information that you need to know about why they're behaving this way. So
So
like
good.
I really, really love how they just totally just twist. Especially because, like, Armand does care about Louis, right? But like he just cares about himself more. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like he's actively trying to keep that secret, and Louis is like, it's fine. I'm not noticing anything weird you're doing. This is normal behavior from you.
It's just like, I don't see red flags. It's fine. Like,
I can't see the color red. I'm like a cat. I
yeah.
can't see any of that. I don't know. I've
Like,
got red green blindness, color blindness. I can only see browns. I don't know. Sorry. It seems fine.
Louis just
He's
rose-colored
handsome, so
glasses.
like he's good looking. So mm.
Definitely like that friend that everyone's like, dude, that guy's like really bad for you. And he's like, but he's hot.
But did you see him though?
Like he makes a lot
Unfortunately,
of
yes, I
money.
did see him, and he's gonna ruin your life.
Yep. Makes a lot of money. He's hot. So
Oh my god.
I think I'll just hang out here.
I think that like this ending was probably one of like the most fuck endings. Louis like gives this rousing speech in their carriage ride, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're getting the fuck out of there. The vampire, the Romanian lady dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like she gets attacked, and they bring her back. And like the military is like, nope, she can't live. Like fuck this lady. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're not gonna be eaten anymore. And Lestat and Claudia are like, I'm sorry, Louis and Claudia are like, nope. And they fucking pack their shit and they leave, right? They're like, no,
Mm-hmm.
we know when the getting is good. That's right now.
Yep.
And the British guy is like, hello, aren't you gonna say anything on my behalf? And Louis is like, who? I'm so
Who?
sorry. Someone's calling me. Runs
I gotta
outside. Like,
go.
I gotta get out of here.
My Uber's here,
Yeah,
actually.
I'm so sorry. I need to get a 5-star rating. Um, so they're like in the carriage. They like get in their Uber, and Louis is like, Claudia, things are gonna be different now. Okay, we are doing this. We are a family. We deserve better than this, Claudia. It's like this beautiful, rousing speech. And Claudia's
Mm-hmm.
like nodding, and you can see her like slightly starting to believe him, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they replaced that really creepy scene where Claudia's like all up in Louis's lap being his lover or whatever that she wrote in the
Thank
book.
God.
That's weird. And
Yeah.
instead, she's just like, okay, buddy, maybe I believe you, right? It's like this moment where she really genuinely thinks maybe things are going to be different. And then the
Mm-hmm.
camera pans out as Louis is like impassioned. He's like knee deep in this fucking like meaningful message, right? This
Mm-hmm.
missive to Claudia, please, things are going to be different. And as the camera pans out, Lestat is sitting next to her in the fucking carriage. And you're
Yep.
like, no, Louis, why?
So good though.
No, you poor thing. You poor baby. We thought it was a breakthrough, but it is
Mm-hmm.
not.
Nope. Nope.
It hurt me so bad. They pulled out and I went, ugh, like so disgusted.
Oh, it's so good though. So
So
good
good.
though.
So good. Just there with his little cat like smile, like, hi,
Mm-hmm.
hey, baby.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
stat's like,
you tell
uh-huh.
her. You
Sure.
sure do mean well. Yeah, you do. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
proud of you. Look at you doing this, being a leader, being a dad. Yeah.
Literally.
Like,
Literally so good.
fuck, man. So good. They play Lestat so well. Like, I love that
Mm-hmm.
they use Lestat as, like, a card, literally, right? Like, as a
Mm-hmm.
foil. Like, something is happening to Louis, and they're like, how can we put Lestat in here to just fuck this right up? Right? Like, they really, really
Love it.
utilize Lestat in a way that I
Love it.
really enjoy.
And then the last thing I have to say to round out episode one, which I think it's bold that we really thought we were going to get through 2 episodes in a recording. You know, that's a bold statement for us. We should have known better, truly. Uh, Armand trying to take over the interview and Daniel constantly being like, no, this is not your interview. Louis was speaking. I was like, let's go
Oh
off,
my
Daniel,
god.
first off.
Stand your ground, Daniel. You tell him.
So good. So good. I'm obsessed with it. And like Armand just like being like checked and having to like primp like a little bit. You know what I mean?
His little
So
shitty
funny.
face. He like purses
Yeah.
his lips like
Yeah, so funny. I will not get over it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautifully done. I am no less obsessed with the show in season 2 as I was in season 1. Period.
Yeah. I love that we were both like, "Oh god, are we gonna like it? Because they're gonna replace Claudia," and we're both like, "Oh, it's fine." Like,
It's
we
fine.
we literally went into this so biased, I think both
True.
of us did, that we're
True.
like, "This is" we're gonna watch it even if we hate watch it. Because
Mhm.
we hate watched Kindred, and I
We
think,
did.
honestly, that's what set us up for failure, is,
Yes.
like, we went Kindred was like, "Oh, this is a
That was
modern
really
day."
bad though.
That was
Like that
really
was
fucking bad.
really bad.
But it was like a modern retelling, and we're like, okay, like it'll be fine. Like let's
Mhm.
watch it. And we gave Kindred the benefit of the doubt, and then
We really
we
tried.
took the rose-colored glass off and we threw them in the garbage, and then we started Interview with the Vampire.
Yes. This is gonna be awful.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm like,
I might
oh,
have watched the entire thing in one sitting. I'm so sorry. I know we're only supposed to be discussing. That
that
was
was
season 1.
so funny.
Season 2, I've had to make a concerted effort to not
I
watch
know,
Beyond because I will get all of the facts messed up. I will be
me
crossing
too.
streams left and right if I watch all of it at once, and I will. I will binge it hard.
I know. I've been like, my TikTok is full of like edits,
Mhm.
and I'm like, shut the fuck up, guys. Like, I'm not there yet. Like, chill, please.
No spoilers.
Literally. I'm like, do you guys not know that I'm recording this for my podcast? Like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna put a link to season 1. Here you go.
Yeah. Just gotta like put my when you could do block tags on Tumblr?
Yes,
Like, ugh, bring that back, actually. Like,
seriously.
tag your spoilers, people. Like, what are we doing?
Please. Please. Even on Twitter, I'll put spoiler in giant caps, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
put an emoji, and then I'll say my take so that people know that it's spoiler.
That's pretty good.
Like, you gotta be considerate.
I've started doing that with like if I do anything on TikTok or whatever, that could be a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be like, title of book or whatever, spoiler, if it's a spoiler. Otherwise, like I just made like a video 2 days ago
Mm-hmm.
of like a meme of Frankenstein,
Mm-hmm.
which if you haven't watched it, I think it was pretty funny.
Mm.
So, but I was like, this isn't a spoiler because it's dumb. So
This isn't a spoiler because this book was made over 200 years ago.
mood like
Almost 200 years ago, I should say.
me not knowing anything ever. So
Like, I dare someone to come for you for a fucking 200-year-old spoiler. Like, I dare them.
it's funny because it's just like I always like whenever I go and people talk about plots of like movies or whatever, I'm like, shut the fuck up! Like I haven't read that book yet. Like, and they're like, but this week came out before any of us were born. I'm like, shut up! Like I've somehow avoided spoilers this long. Like, chill
Just leave it
out. Like,
alone.
yeah, I'm doing my best here. Like I don't.
Yeah,
What are we
I'm
talking
very
about?
anti-spoiler because somebody spoiled The Sixth Sense for me when it came out in the movie theater. Like, a boy asked me on a date, and I was like, I'm not interested in dating you. And he was like, well, this. And I was like, what the fuck?
Damn.
He knew I wanted to see it, and so he just spoiled the movie. It was like, so there. And I was like, wow, way to own the conversation, I guess. Like, cool flex, bro. But what the fuck? Like, that's
I
just
saw
mean. Like,
I saw this thing on like it was a Reddit post, and it was talking about how like when did someone spoil something for you? And this girl was talking about how she was in the comic book section, and she was like looking at comics, and these like dude bros came up, and they were like talking all this shit about how she's probably only there because she's getting something for her boyfriend or whatever, and like she obviously doesn't really like it. So she, after like a few minutes of this, and like they're like really laying into her. It was just when the new Star Wars came out. She
mhm.
turns around and she goes, Luke Skywalker dies, comes back as a Force ghost, and like outlines the whole plot and walks away.
Listen,
And I'm like,
sometimes you have to
hell
fight
yeah.
fire with fire.
Literally. Literally. So funny.
Oh my god.
So good.
Outstanding.
Love it every time.
Yep.
Well, that is all we have for this episode. And that was episode 1. It's just a bold move thinking we'll get through anything more than an episode at a time.
Listen, next episode, we're definitely doing episodes 2 and 3 for sure.
Maybe.
For sure. We're gonna try.
We're going to do our best. We're going to watch 2 and 3.
We sure
We'll
are.
see what happens.
We're going
We
to
shall see
try
what
really
happens.
hard, and we're going to admit defeat if we fail.
And then at that point, if we don't get through episode 2 and 3 next episode, we're just gonna watch one at a time, and we'll
I
go
think
from
that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
there. But that is all we have for you all, and we will catch you all in the next episode. Candace, where can the people of the internet find you and the things you're working on?
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at the Candace Marie, Candacemarie. You can also find me at Candace the Magnificent, pretty much everywhere else, including Twitch, where I stream occasionally video games and ukulele covers, as well as Instagram, where I forget to post about things that I'm doing. You can hear me right now in several places. If you like audio dramas, you can hear me in the audio drama Partial Veil, which is basically like if Twin Peaks and Eldritch cosmic horror met Fargo. It is pretty great. It's wherever you catch your pods. If you enjoy improv and TTRPGs, or just like a good audio drama style show, because honestly, that's kind of what we do is we improv and audio drama with dice. You can listen to me over on 12 Sided Stories doing The Hidden North, which is a Vaesen campaign about fairies and monsters from like a Nordic kind of lens. And then you can also hear more of me in Bloom and Blight, which is a Girl by Moonlight podcast all about magical girls fighting to save the future.
And I will try and link all of those below so you can go check that out. Or I think you have a link tree, don't you?
I do. It's
And I will use that as well.
https:// link tr.ee/Candace Magnificent.
Perfect. And we will catch you all right here in 2 weeks with another episode where we definitely talk about episode 2.
Definitely.
We'll see what happens after that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the Barely Bookish podcast. If you want to find me, I am at Barely Bookish on all of the internet places. And you can find me pretty much wherever. You can also listen to this episode once again in 2 weeks. And then also wanted to shout out Shade Winters for joining the Patreon. That's the best way to help support this podcast. So thank you so much. And if you all want to get some exclusive content, make sure to check out the Patreon account. And I will see you all again in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.